And everybody must be excited. What is the neurosurgeon talking about technology? From how a karate kid become a tech whiz. Welcome, Stafford, to this Rebooting the Brain podcast.
I am a Commonwealth referee now. I think that was my first breakthrough, which I got a name called Machine Man. Mom sat with me and said, just took a scale and hit me one shot. I started blabbering all the things in the textbook. He was not afraid of a person who had practiced 10,000 kick once, but he was afraid of a person who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Black belt is the start of learning.
Sharan Murthy made many years ago. He said, 85% of engineers are unemployable.
So I made a project and I sold it for five people. Next year also that project only got sold.
I have to map your brain sometime. Let me see what's going on inside. You must be very proud of yourself that you could contribute something to the Indian Army.
Yes, it was a big project.
Hats off to you, man.
And 99% of the startup goes off in the first year only. So I would say till 30 for all the engineers is that you don't say no to anything. Most of the people who are not wearing helmet, please wear helmet or else you will be the customer to PRS Neuroscience.
ജ്ഞാനാനന്ദമയം ദേവം നിർമ്മലസ്ഫടികാകൃതിം ആധാരം സർവവിദ്യാനാം ഹയഗ്രീവം ഉപാസ്മഹേ ആധാരം സർവവിദ്യാനാം ഹയഗ്രീവ ഉപാസ്മഹേ ഹയഗ്രീവ ഉപാസ്മഹേ.
Rebooting the Brain, powered by PRS Neurosciences. Namaste, everybody. We start with a prayer. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormam Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As the sloka says, that from ignorance we need to have knowledge, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. This can be interpreted in many different ways, from learning to personal life to anywhere else. Hi everybody, I am Dr. Sharan Srinivasan and welcome to this edition of our podcast, Rebooting the Brain. Today we are going to talk about technology, and everybody must be excited. What is the neurosurgeon talking about technology? So I come from the Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, all of you know that. But let me tell you one thing. I come from the original IT industry, which is the central nervous system or the brain spinal cord complex. So I have a right to talk about technology, correct? But today we have with us an incredible gentleman who really, has got the nuances of technology from the ground, dirtied his hands. And you'll really love listening to his story. A guy from a small town who has really made it big, for himself. So the theme is from how a karate kid become a tech whiz. Welcome, Stafford, to this Rebooting the Brain podcast. Thank you for joining us. We'd love you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, I'm Stafford, CTO of PRS Neuroscience and also co-founder for Newro Kaaya. So I'm also a tech person who handles all the things on the neuro rehab side as well as on other technologies like entertainment and robotics.
Perfect. So as I introduce yourself as a karate kid, becoming a tech whiz, people must be wondering, karate is in this and so much physical effort, so much of physical this, and tech is the lazy guy. The tech does everything for you. You can just sit on the bed and do all of these things. And that's a transformational journey for you. So coming from a city called Mysore, and you are this Mysore boy, who's been there, coming from a conservative Christian family where teaching was the main thing. What got you interested in karate? Let me start with that. I know you're a fan of Bruce Lee. You were telling me that. Why don't you share with the audience, with our global viewers, what does this karate? How did it come into your life?
Yeah, so when I was a small kid, I was more fascinated about Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee because of my father. He used to make me sit and make me see those films of Jackie Chan and say, "See, this is how the great legend of karate is about." So that's how Bruce Lee got introduced to me in my early life when I was around 5th standard or 6th standard, when the TV first came into our house. So there was only DD channel before,
Correct.
and this was the first VCR. Yeah.
You'll never forget that.
So that is the era of only DD, and then VCR came into play, and we were like very excited to see something as a film on our big screen. And it was all like a black and white film that we used to enjoy. And Rajkumar was our dad's favorite, but I used to love Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee because of his fighting skills and his tradition. So that is where I got introduced into karate. And in 5th standard, I went and asked my mom also to say, "Mom, I want to go and join karate." My mom was very scared, thinking that, oh, it is a harmful place, you might get hurt and all these things. And that time it was called full contact, which means we used to hit the person in real life also, while we are practicing, to take the hits also. Now it's more of like a semi-contact or sports karate is what we come into play. So that's how I got introduced by my father, and then I took on my first master, who's Sensei Sunil Kumar, and he was in my school. So I asked my mom.
So in the school had a karate.
School had a karate. First time got introduced.
Okay, I was just wondering how you found the guy.
Yeah, so it was in the school, and they said from this year we start karate, and this is when I started. Okay, it's in the school only, and I used to play games, and I was more into my childish games that we used to play around with the other boys, and this was like a activity where I had so much of energy, I didn't knew where to channelize it. So I think this way Sensei channelized all my energy into karate, saying that this is how your energy can be moved and used across. So in 5th standard is when I started with under
Fantastic. So would you mimic Bruce Lee's moves and all of those things, like
Yes.
kids, we always do our heroes moves. So you were doing all of that.
We used to shout like Bruce Lee, saying like, "Wah!" The shout that comes out, and the kicks. We always used to aim the kicks at the face.
I know.
Always
Okay.
we wanted that fastness, because we have seen that speed of his nunchaku movements. And when we used to try, we know we are getting hit everywhere. It's not coming into our hands. But after a few practices, like as he said, like practice makes man perfect. So I also understood that, okay, I have to practice in order to reach the level of what my master is. Because only he has practiced it for more than 15 to 20 years. I'm just starting now. And then I realized, okay, the practice is the only way that I can reach
It's a
that
good statement
fastness.
you made. See what's happening in this world of virtual reality and instant gratification. People want results today. In fact, they do something today and want results yesterday. That's this current generation, is like that. They don't realize that sowing and reaping are two different seasons. I tell my patients many times, it takes a gynecologist 9 months to have a baby. You can't move it you can't make it any faster. If it comes out faster, it has to be in a paid incubator. Here there's a free incubator for them to keep it. So coming back to karate, so you started doing the karate. So you made a very important dialogue that Bruce Lee made. Why don't you tell that? I think that's a fantastic statement.
Yeah, so the Bruce Lee's first dialogue, which I loved the most, was he was not afraid of a person who had practiced 10,000 kick once, but he was afraid of a person who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So that's a very powerful statement to tell that how much dedication you should have to learn one skill
And master it.
and master it to your extent that it's a perfectionized. You know that I'm going to hit at this rate, at what is my ability of my body motions with respect to that. Yeah.
In fact, it's reminding me of one statement that Thomas Alva Edison made when somebody told him, you have failed in making a bulb 10,000 times. He said, I know 10,000 ways how not to make
bulb.
So it's
Yes,
the same
it's the
thing.
same thing, yeah.
I think, successful people don't do different things. They do different things. They do things differently. I think perseverance is the name of the game, and you have actually, started learning that very early. So I think it's a good starting point. Then what happened to you as you start learning karate? What happened to you in the karate?
Yeah, so the karate was a starting of my life where I learned like how to be an individual who can be represented by on his own, like create an identity of my own self. Till then I was known as just a Stafford, and as soon as I became black belt, people started respecting me, calling me sensei. Everywhere around the school, when I walk around, there was respect. I could feel that without me asking for it, because of my knowledge and what I had done and accomplished in my school days of karate.
How long it took for you from 5th standard to become a black belt?
To become a black belt, 3 years, 8th standard, I was a black belt.
Really?
Yeah, so this was a nice story also there. It's like, I first joined karate and I wanted to be one person who was my senior, who was also very good at karate. And he was like splitting his legs up to full flat.
Uh-huh.
He had a flexible legs in order to do that. And I was not flexible that way. So now I started pushing myself to say every day I want to get flexible. Going, finding whichever wall is there, putting my legs over there and just
Rama.
trying to split it and sit there for a while, asking my sensei, push me to the wall, push my
My
legs,
goodness.
screaming across also. But
Rama.
that helped me out to overcome that pain, and I understood, okay, this is all what I had to do.
You must have had a lot of pain, no?
Yeah, it was a lot of pain of pushing
you must
it.
be crazy.
And
yeah.
in 3 months, I was able to sit flat on my legs, and that is when I realized, okay, now my legs can move up whatever I want, because it's almost 180 degrees in things. So that is one aspect where I wanted to do much, was the splitting of my legs, because that decided how my kicks are going to go and how my leg reach is going to be. Now, without that power coming into play, I wouldn't have even thought about continuing more further, I believe. But that was the first breakthrough which led me to saying, oh, Stafford, you can do this. And then proceed next and next and next. By yellow belt, I think from white belt to yellow belt, I had already started splitting up my legs, thinking about that I have to be this in the black belt. And
So you were looking
have
at the
to do
future
that.
already.
Yeah, future about it. And then I had a lot of observation skills in my young age. I used to observe. So my mom and dad used to tell me, like, he never used to open his books in the class. He used to hold his back tightly and sit and just watch the board and never open a single writing, nothing.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and then...
And the teacher's not scolding you for
my
not...
teacher was scolding. They called my parents also,
Huh.
and they asked them, he doesn't open. It's been 3 months. He's not opening his book. He's not writing anything. And my mom and dad got to know that they have taught so many things. So my mom sat with me and said, like, just took a scale and hit me one shot. I started blabbering all the things in the textbook.
Oh,
And
whatever
then
they taught you.
Yeah, whatever they had taught
Huh.
me. And then she was very happy to say, like, oh, when did you learn all this? You either play or you sleep. But when did you learn all this without writing also? And that is where they understood that I had a good observation skills. And this also I utilized in my karate again. I learned it from there. Because I used to watch others perform. And they inspire me. When I go tournaments, I used to see other black belt people coming from Delhi or in Manipal or all these kinds of places.
Correct.
And that too, these north people, they are more flexible, hefty, and these things, and they are disciplined also. When they used to walk around, we used to feel like, oh, this guy is very strong. You know, the presence of their feel only, that energy only tells you that it brings you down. So that is how I realized, okay, this energy matters. We should be confident, and how do we do that? And the leadership skill was one more thing which I acquired in karate.
Leadership. I thought karate is all about hammering fellows and things like that. That's what I have always thought. Karate, and then you put everybody to the ground.
Karate for me was taught to me by sensei in a way that he always put me one word, saying the karate is the way of life. And he's always used to tell me that there is one thing in your life that you have to remember. Keep mind, body, and soul as one. That is when you achieve everything.
Whoa,
So I was
that's a very different philosophy. I never heard of this.
So it's called Shingi Tai in Japanese.
Oh.
So the Shingi Tai was one of...
this karate is originated from Japan.
The way Japanese have taken it to the next level in order to prolong it and take it into master it and share it across to the world is much more
Ask me
appreciative.
about Japanese. I have a long thing to tell about my stint in Japan.
So as you know, they have taken it to the next level. You see all the masters. That is where the origin of karate right now. If you see anywhere on the books and the literatures over like 200, 300 years ago, we only see that the masters who we know right now and who are our style are coming from Okinawa, which is Shuru is a kind of a caste from which it's been originated.
Okinawa is one of the smallest islands
Smallest
in the south,
island in,
and it always gets hit by all these typhoons and all of
Yes.
those things.
And the life is very nice over there. I've been there for about 2
Oh,
weeks or
you've
3
been to
weeks,
Japan?
yeah.
When? How old were you in Japan?
I was around in ninth standard, I think around 14 years.
And you were already black belt then?
I was already a black belt. That's for second dan, because the first black belt was done in under my sensei. The second dan I wanted to go for Japan and to say like, okay, let me take it under my grandmaster. So we always respect, and karate also taught us about one thing is to respect people. You receive respect, you give respect. So that is where in everywhere we used to go and we only used to bow.
Correct.
I forgot about doing namaste. Whenever I used to see my elders also, I used to say like
Correct.
us, and they used to ask me what is it. They got used to it.
Correct.
Because that is how this guy
Correct.
respects.
The Japanese
because-
do that.
Yeah, so that is one thing, and saying hi for everything. Saying yes, hi. So that was my
Hi.
response.
Okay, that's right.
That's the thing to say like yes, and very excitedly to say yes, and that's what I was doing. And I think that moment of karate changed my life in my schooling also, because the way the teachers and the students and everybody used to interact with me got different.
Oh, they were afraid you'll beat them up, huh?
It was not only afraid, they were afraid of our gang also, thinking that okay, these guys are very disciplined, they move together, they sit together, they have food together, they talk about karate, they live in this, and they come back to school. Like before school starts also, like around 8:30 we used to be in the school, practice till 9:30 until the school starts, and again after 3:30 again practice for
So you're demonstrating that you are really
Yes.
practicing.
They used to always see me practicing on my karate gi, and that is where I think that respect came into, saying that oh, this guy is there, he's practicing. So they used to move away from us to say not to disturb the playground also. That was something that induced by itself. We didn't even speak about it, but later when we see that, we understand okay, people recognize these art also, and this is getting lost right now. So
So you told me, sorry to butt in, you said you went and met your grandmaster in Okinawa, but there was something very strange that happened there. What was that you shared with me, on the phone, that he was teaching you something and things like that. What was
Yes.
that happened?
Oh yeah. The karate for me, first when I was starting here, it was all about to say fighting. To say, okay, how do I practice fighting? How do I do the best katas? So this was the only two things that I
Katas
was
means what, all
learning.
the poses that you hold.
It's like a dance, but it's an imaginary fighting. You are doing a fighting on with an imaginary opponent.
Okay.
So that is what kata means, and so this is what I was good at. I was good at postures, like giving out a nice karate posture and with the timing. And later fighting also was my passion, because I have to use kata in my fighting again. So I started doing fighting, and we were more on the sports side. And once I became a black belt, that is when I realized that black belt is a stage where I'm starting to learn karate now. Until
Really?
then, what I had
But I thought
learned...
black belt was the ultimate...
Yeah, so black belt is a start of learning, that everybody feels like, okay, we become black belt, we are a karateka.
Huh.
It's not that. It's like when you start your black belt, that is when you actually start learning karate. The essence of karate comes into play only when
What do
you
you mean? Can you elaborate?
So,
I didn't
yeah,
understand.
so when you come into black belt, we understand that we are on the superior side. People are still below us, are still watching up to us always to say, oh, how is this person going to do? Oh, Stafford is going to do a kata now. Stafford is going to fight now. So the way of seeing people when they become a black belt was starting to change across the entire school also. The acknowledgement that came across, the responsibility that we had on our shoulders, that before sensei comes, I have to keep my class ready. I have to keep them warmed up. I have to see that sensei comes and he's ready and he can just start the class immediately. No?
So, sorry to butt in, but that means you're saying that from this carefree kid
Yes.
who was just doing time
pass.
you suddenly morphed into at a young age in such a leader. You are taking responsibility to make sure So that is the leadership that you were
Yes,
talking
that
about.
was the leadership that I was
So
talking
karate
about.
really taught you about leadership and how to take
How to
responsibility.
take responsibilities. So I used to handle a class of more than 100 people
Oh, really?
in my school.
Huh.
So we used to stand there and one shout. I was small kid, just 8th standard, taking control over the 10th standard and above because of my belt level. So I started it early. I never discontinued my karate. So
That's another message. You should never discontinue what you're doing
discontinue
to
what
get
you do.
mastery.
Yes. So until you master it, I would say like keep a focus on it until you get your essence to say, okay, now I know what I can do with it. So that is the importance of that. And then in the leadership skill, I used to like handle classes. There used to be multiple other people coming from outside India. There used to come people from other parts of our Karnataka. They used to all come and wanted to learn from us, because the way we do, and Sensei used to only ask me to demonstrate. Sensei is master and used to say, Stafford, up, demonstrate this kata. And out of all those people, I had to come and say and practice, because that is what they follow. They see me, and are like how I used to see my Sensei perform the kata and I learned. They used to see me and follow me what I used to do there. So I think this way I've done it until Grandmaster also. Even Grandmaster used to call me and tell me. And the same thing happened to me when I learned what is karate is when I went to Japan. There was a day where from morning till evening we were so excited. First day in my Japanese class, and we are sitting there, and he calls us up and he says, "Do Chudansuki." And we said, "Okay, let's do Chudansuki." One time, two time. We did first time. He said, "No, again, again, again." It's almost 12 hours,
Huh.
and still I'm doing Chudansuki only.
12 hours?
12 hours, and I'm still doing the same punch.
Huh.
After the whole time, he just called me up and he said, "You're still doing it wrong. Watch."
Huh.
And then he showed me one thing to saying that you have to move your hips, take your energy from the leg. And that the way that I hit the punching bag after that was an incredible power that came out of me until I never realized that part. Then I thought, okay, this is how what is karate is about. It's not about being fast, it's about being elegant. Use your body, use your strength up to your maximum level. So how do you push your energy? So we always think that the fist is the most powerful part of it. I feel the fist is not. The thing is the hip, which
Really?
stores 70% of your energy. Everything that comes from the hip goes onto your fist. The fist is just the end point to say the delivery is given through that.
To transmit the energy.
Transmit the energy. So, and then the pullback also. That is also one more thing that I was thinking about. Like, how do I? There's actually, when you see the Newton's law of motion, it says like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So like when you hit a wall, if you keep your hands there only, it is going to puncture your hand. But when you hit a wall and as soon as you hit it, you transfer it and release it, the energy doesn't come back to your hand. So you have transferred all the energy to the wall. So you won't feel pain, but the wall breaks.
Really?
So that's how, that's where the karate essence that you see is like,
Oh, they come and bring it back.
pull back.
Ah,
Because
the
you
pull
transfer,
back.
you should not go. And that is a
okay.
difference also when you see between a kung fu and karate. We are self-defense. We never want to attack. That is what one more thing that we thought. We always, as a kids, we used to have that fightings, the group.
Correct.
And we used to go and fight around. All that stopped. We had so much amount of respect to others also, that you should not fight with us.
Amazing,
That's first thing, because we
amazing.
already know how to fight.
Correct.
Now if you fight with us, you will lose. So the confidence also was a part of it, and also telling not to fight and giving them nyan to say, let's talk it over.
It's like you having a nuclear weapon and
Yeah.
having deterrence around it.
Yeah,
Right?
yes.
It became like that, I think.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So that was
amazing.
like a different era of
So one full
ruling.
day he makes you do. He doesn't correct you.
Correct
At
me.
the end of 12 hours, he corrects
He
you.
corrects me and he says, this is how you do the punch.
Amazing.
And
I'm not surprised. I've also spent 6 months in Japan. These guys are amazing guys. There's no
yes,
question about
there is no
that.
question. And every word that they say is also important. Like we have to just keep listening to them and understand what is that they're going to do. And that is what I learned from my grandmaster, that don't waste your time. You practice on something every day, every time you are here. He used to say, it didn't even allow us to go out and watch Japan also. He said, you are here for 2 weeks, 24/7, you're doing karate. Nothing else. You're not leaving this house. So
he kept you in the house, huh?
Yeah, he kept us in the house, and he said, you're not leaving this house. You are here to learn karate. Nyangodas. That's all. And we said yes, hi. And we
How
started
many of
doing-
you were there?
We were 5 people. Me, my sensei, and 3 more other senseis. So all from Indian group. My dad again helped me out in that way, always supporting me to say like, okay, go do karate and come back. And there was a tournament also in Japan. So where I went there and I had to face a guy who was much more ahead of me. So I
So
was
very
very
afraid,
strong.
very
Yeah,
afraid.
I was initially I
You
was
were
not
like this only thin, na? That
yeah,
time
I was
also?
also thin,
Huh?
like around 40 to 45 was my
My
kg.
goodness.
You know, always I used to, I am a very core non-vegetarian, but I never put up weight. And my sensei used to always tell me, like, you have to put up some weight or somewhere. Like, I tried. It never happened. I said, like, you are toned your body fully. And there was a tournament in Japan where I had to be one of the participants over there. And in this tournament, I still remember the person, one Japanese person coming and fighting with me in the second round. So in this round, I knew that I am going to win that round. But at the I was confident because like I used to play very nicely in my tournaments. So I knew the first round I beat the first guy. The second guy also I knew, okay, I am fast enough. I was seeing the other fights also, so I understood that okay, this should be a piece of cake. But what happened in the second round was I think I was overconfident and I went in, and that guy punched me right on my face here, and it hit me. It was my fault because I'm going in and he's also punching and it hit me here. And we call it Zetsu. So Zetsu is where you should be aware of what your opponent is doing. And that is not a fault. That is not a fault from the opponent guy. It's a fault from me because I'm going in, closing the distance. So I got hit and my jaw was turned
You?
to the left and I am out, knocked out. I don't even know what happened in the game. So next time I open, I'm seeing my sensei is throwing some water on my face and telling me chew a chingam. I am like chewing, it's not going. I'm saying, sensei, I can't move my jaw. And then he tells me like, you're out. You got second place. So forfeit the finals and get out of this. I said, no, I'll play. He just took my hands also like this. I am completely out. I didn't knew. And after I think in the evening I got to know, and my jaw is swollen. This news goes to my parents now. My mom starts to cry from there, saying that please get him back here to India. I am showing my photo to her and saying like I got second place, but she's seeing my whole face swollen here.
I mean, she's mother at the end
Yeah.
of the day, there's no question.
Yes.
Should be proud, but, mother will have it. How did this karate impact what you were doing in you? So what happened? We'll come back to karate
Yes.
a little later again because there's so much I know you have. So you went ahead and you did engineering. How did that engineering journey happen and what got you into, share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So
See, we all talk about, like I want to tell the global viewers that we talk about AI today, AI, ML, VR, XR, all sorts of stuff. But you're telling and what is called RR, which is real reality.
Yes.
You have really stretched yourself, you made it happen. I think that's what, really validates what you have done. So tell me what happened to you? How did you get into engineering? What happened to this whole process?
Yeah, so when I was in my 10th standard, I went to my dad and I spoke to him. He asked me like, what do you want to do? So I was very open with my dad and I told I'll do karate for the rest of the life.
You must have walloped you, I think.
Yeah, he took his belt out and he smacked the right out of me in the corner. And then after that, sensei also came, who was my karate master. He also smacked me, saying that you have to study. Karate is there, but this is not your main thing. Then I was like, okay, when both my father and sensei are against me, I am only a good guy thinking that I'll do this. Now they are pushing me out and they asked me like, what do you want to do? And I was sitting and my sister was very good in studies. She used to always be the topper in the class and I used to be somewhere in the top 20 or something in that form, but never been a topper in the class. So I was not worried about the studies part of it, more of enjoyment as a boy. And then in second PU, they asked me like, you want to take commerce or science? So I said, okay, let me take science, PCMB. My sister also has done it, I'll do it. So finished my second year B. And then again, a time came where I was had to go for a tournament.
So you did be in Mysore only?
Mysore only. So I got a CET seat and I joined into engineering. And engineering was again asked by multiple people. Say like, what is engineering also? We didn't.
Why you chose engineering?
Engineering is something that I saw people, I thought like... people believed like engineering was repairing mixie, fridges, TV and remotes, asking them to go on the top of the antenna and do the DD1 channels antenna. That was what engineering meant to me in my early days, because that is what we were seeing in our life. Correct. My dad used to repair the old fans, and I used to be very fascinated to see, okay, I should just remove all the screws. After that, I don't know what to do, where it goes, what means, just put everything back. My dad comes, you did something there. That was a kind
I still remember, let me stop you here. There's this Charlie Chaplin movie, one of these movies we had, where he was repairing clocks, that old clock the alarm clock. So that usual big fellow who they keep having fight with, that fellow had given his clock for repair.
Okay.
So he came to pick up his clock. Charlie Chaplin is on the other side of the table, and the clock, the front and the back of the clock is on the side. The entire clock is like you removed and kept on the table. Okay, fully ripped upon. It's all the parts are lying there. So this fellow closes the front and back and gives key. Empty clock. The clock starts working on the table. Tick, 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 tick. So he opens the clock, keeps it like this, fills up
everything and puts it back in.
That chase happens. So you're sounding like that,
Yeah. And this is what I think I thought about engineering was only this, because we had not seen companies that time, not visited any companies. We didn't have any media to go and see what are they doing.
No internet.
You're
pre-internet era.
Pre-internet era. Like we had...
These guys should understand that, because today they don't even understand what without internet really means. People have no idea.
So in our school days, we never saw internet. The mobile phone came into our hands only when I was in my second year BE. Till then, it was all Nokia 1100. That was the...
Oh, the smartphone came at second BE or much later?
Second PU, second year BE.
BE. Smartphone came.
Smartphone. That was my first phone, which I had, Samsung Galaxy Yuva. That was my first phone which I had, and that is where we started browsing on the screen, saying like, okay, this is how we can get internet. And until there, the engineering was just to say, I need to make something like that. To say, okay, how the fans will rotate, the AC drives. My father's factory I had visited, I had seen some works happening there. And this is what I was thinking, engineering is all about building big stuffs. Now, once I joined engineering, I saw that what they are teaching there and what is on the ground is completely different. Like, they are teaching us theory, they are teaching us mathematics, everything is coming into play. There is no application that we are understanding about it. And that is where I think I saw a transition happening when I met Dr. Bindu Thomas. She was my first guru is Sensei. Always is my most respectable person. Always there next to me. Second person is Bindu Thomas.
Next guru is
Bindu Thomas. She always pointed me out, saying that you have to do this, you have to do that. And the leadership was there because I was always the class representative all my life. Like, never left.
So the leadership was not...
yeah, it was not...
So thanks to karate, I think, that you got...
So that is where, in my first year BE also, I did karate, and everybody were astonished to say like, oh, this guy knows this art very well. And I got votes also to say become a class leader. After that,
they got afraid. I think this fellow will beat us up.
and then I continued over 4 years of CR, and that is how I met my HOD. She was the HOD of ENC department. So and then she was always I'm a Christian, and she used to be my father's friend. So that way we got connected, and she always pointed me out to saying, you should do that, you should do this. Up till third year of engineering was just an engineering class. Go there, come back, do karate, go there, come back, do karate, pass your exams. But on the 7th semester, when we saw that every company is coming, like Infosys, Bosch, all of these companies are coming in, we have to get hired now. So that is where the campus placement. And we wanted to have skills now, because they're only looking for skills and not marks there. And said, marks is not helping out us in any way. What's
the point? Because this is exactly the statement Narayan Murthy made many years ago. He said, 85% of engineers are unemployable. And you are saying exactly the same thing.
So it's only the certificate which allows you to stand in front of the gate and show I have a permit. It allows you inside the gate. Once you enter the gate, that certificate is useless there, because you have to take your own jobs in your hand, show your ability of your skills, and how do you put them into use.
How did you manage to get abilities now?
Yes, so the first thing I understood was, okay, I didn't have skills in that format, what the world was looking into. So where do I acquire this skill? So I started doing a project under a person called Madhusudan. So he was one of the person who used to do lots of engineering projects. So we went...
But not from the college, somewhere outside.
Outside. Uh-huh. So I went to his place and I saw there were lots of gadgets around. And that is where we got certain things to get hands on now. They say, okay, we got on boards, we got wires, now we got soldering gun. Start putting everything together, make a motor move. So initial small projects. And in the final year BE, somehow I made a circuit which used to control a wheelchair remotely through speech. Like saying, go forward, go left, go right. And just controlling the wheelchair.
Voice enabled.
Voice enabled. This is for the disabled to say from whichever side you call, the wheelchair used to walk towards you and come and stand in front of you. So this was done in Ayush, for the Ayush in Mysore.
Aisha,
Yeah, Ayush in Mysore. So this
my
speech-
sister studied the speech and hearing institute. Correct.
So there was so this person Ibrahim, he was the HOD over there. He gave us this project. Now we are scratching our head to say we don't know what is speech. Where do we do the speech recognition? We are 4 fellows only, and now okay, we have to do something now. They're sitting there, and Aish like gave us all the equipments, and we started putting it together. After 6 months, we were happy that okay, we did this. Because that 3 days of going and sitting and working, learning.
You did
sitting,
in Aish only.
Yeah, Aish only. So everything on the Aish, and we finished it. And this was to be demonstrated finally now. So in the final years, we understood that okay, we have learned about this project or not. The first group went in front of me. They had done their internship or their project in Vodafone. So the professor asked them saying like, what did you do in your engineering project? He said, sir, we lifted a tower. We the tower. Actually, what did you do in the tower? He said, sir, tower, sir. They don't know what they've done in the tower. They've just given the writing and the report saying that we have made the base station, everything. And we were sitting there, and next batch is a one batch presenting. And
you could hear what was going on.
We are sitting and we are afraid now because this is the first time.
Correct.
And now our project is coming, and we know, okay, we are going to be blown away. We don't know what questions he is going to ask about this and all. Where did the wheelchair come from and all. And then we went there. Surprisingly, he was very happy to see that we have done the project in Aish. And then we were happy, like, okay, this guy is asking questions. We were answering because we had done the project.
Correct.
We got the confidence to say, oh.
Because you were asking questions and you had done it, so you could easily answer.
We could answer. And what we had not done it also, we could answer, saying, sir, we had a problem. That's why we couldn't do this.
You could give an explanation.
We can give an explanation. So he was happy about it. And he was from JC. And that person, we were afraid of him from the young age. There was a reputation for Renuka, Professor Renuka sir. And he used to be scolding people to say that you have got your projects from outside done. And
match fixing.
Match fixing. And used to catch us, give less marks and all. Somehow we got 94 out of 100.
Whoa.
I was very happy. Like, yeah, we got our marks. We are going out. And then once BE was completed, I asked my father again, what should I do? I'll go for a job. I've got a campus interview, which was in Microland, in Bangalore. My dad said, no, you study one more thing. I wanted to study, but I couldn't do engineering. But I want you to go M.Tech and then do Ph.D. also. I said, okay, let me think about it. And I gave a PGCET, got passed, got a seat also. Now my dad says like, okay, you have to go there and you have to do it. Now I have come to Bangalore. First time in my life.
Oh, the M.Tech was in Bangalore.
M.Tech was in Bangalore, in AMC. So then I was like, okay, now I'm in a new place. There's only one room and I'm in my Bangalore. And here I come, M.Tech is a different ocean altogether. There are only 18 people. And the first semester I went there, I was like, okay, everybody, we have to go and sit in the class like normal students and all. Later I got to know, okay, M.Tech again is the same way, where people just come sit, they are all doing their jobs.
Oh, the theory master. So that is too much. I don't know what. See, that is the difference between engineering and medicine, I'll tell you. See, for us, only the first year is didactic lectures, and we have this dissection, all of that. From second year, that is fourth semester, we are in the hospital.
Okay.
We are seeing patients. We're just seeing patients. We're not touching them. We're seeing the seniors. So we are grounded already. We are seeing suffering. We are seeing symptoms. We are seeing scan. We're seeing the whole drama happening in front of us. So we know what actually we are getting into. Otherwise, there's no point. Like I always tell people, about swimming. I know everything about swimming until I get into water. Once I get into water, I am a mess. I have no clue what's going on. He's sounding like that to me.
Yes. So we were like, I was like more of stressed out to say what I'll be doing in M.Tech here. And then I found out a person there. In my first year, somehow we got passed off. The second year came in and there were no students coming into the college only. Like 18 people, attendance used to be given, everything used to happen. I was like worried. Oh, I also should do something like what these guys are doing. Same, follow them. So we followed it and I got into one person saying, you don't come to the class here. Instead, come to my place and do the project. He was running a startup.
Who is this guy?
This is Dr. Hemant Kumar.
Oh.
He was one of my lecturer in
M.Tech.
M.Tech. So he told me, you come here and you do this, because since you are more interested in being in labs. So I was
What
more,
startup was he running?
so he was running a startup called Predictive Research, so which was on brain-computer interface. So I was also very happy to say this is like brain
And
coming
predictive
into
means
play.
some data business.
Data analysis
Oh,
on
so you
brain.
got exposed very early on brain and
Brain
stuff.
and yes. So
Fantastic.
he linked me up to say you have to start your
He was
project
making
here.
his own device, brain BCI, or what was he doing?
He was trying to understand what is the correlation of brain with respect to body parameters. To say how do I think about a water? How do I think about my rotating my hand? So I was very fascinated about what he was talking about, and then I said, okay, let me also try. So he told me, where do I get these signals from now? I don't have equipments. I need EEG. So he said, non-invasive methods. Let's go to Nimans and we'll get a permission from there. So he spoke to Dr. Basavaraj Patil in Nimans. He was handling the neuroscience part of it, and we gave an access to our equipments. Now the equipments are there.
Your equipment from this company?
Yeah, equipments. Our equipments are also there. The Nimans also had its own EEG headsets and all. They had an emotive headsets. So it was like 128 electrode system, and we used to put it on our heads. Now we are starting to think. Okay, what do we classify? Each person has its own uniqueness, because brain is so unique, like a fingerprint or like a iris. It's like completely unique for individual person. So we made an experiment over there to, okay, what is my project title? I didn't knew about it. I was just there inside. Now I have to think through, oh, what should I do here? And this was a new topic out of all my things that I've learned in my past, and I'm putting it to application now. I have learned signals and systems. I had learned my mathematics, Fourier transforms, all kinds of transform that is present in the M1, M2, M3, M4 of engineering, and this had to come into the play now. So now this is where I understood, okay, I had to do something here. I have to classify these signals. That is where the era of neural networks started coming into play, where artificial intelligence, neurons, they started modeling brain. So the brain-computer interface led me to introduction of neural networks.
Fantastic. I mean, honestly, which year was this?
That is one in 2010, 2011.
That is very early. I'm amazed at how you got access, sitting in Mysore, got access. I think it is divine, Stafford, because it's not easy for somebody, because today people sitting in an IIT and IISc sometimes are, having difficulty to access this kind of stuff. I know. Yes. I mean, I think the karate gave you this magic, or I don't know what it is, but I am amazed at what. Continue. Yes. Sorry to. But
so that was the thing that we got an equipments, and we got started classifying the signals now. So first thing I wanted to do was I thought, okay, let me give a communication to people who are suffering from complete paralysis, only their eyes are moving.
Oh, so, Nimans patient.
So we said, okay, let us give them some caregivers, some voice output. We had kept a speaker there. They wear the emotive headset. Now I have to just give them commands to say, when do you want food? When are you feeling pain? When do you want water? When do you want to go to bathroom? Or these were some of
what headset is this?
It's called emotive headset.
Oh, so it's going through the headset to them. Huh? You're talking.
No, it's only thinking.
Oh, the headset. Oh, okay. Got it.
The emotive, the EEG headsets.
The EEG headset. Got it.
The EEG headsets. Now that signal we wanted to capture. So we asked them to say, think about water. So she thought about water. We don't know what she's thinking. She cannot speak also. When we say, she can respond with her eye blinks only, saying like, yes, I can do that. So this way we started getting certain signals out of there. We couldn't classify anything. We don't know, one water signal is different from the other water signal coming out. Now
what must be Kaveri water, what must be Bisleri water, I think.
Now we are in a dilemma. So we said, let's first do it on ourselves, then go to the patients.
Correct. Makes sense. Normative data.
Correct. So that is where we understood how normative data comes into play. So this project told me like, okay, now you have to collect certain data and you have to do it. So we got some of my Bakras, yes, and
Who were all of them?
They were all my friends again in M.Tech. Said like, come sit here and just think about water. So the study which helped me out a lot was, I did 2 studies over there, and I didn't worry about the results, because I know I will not get a result. It's too ocean there. I'm just a drop giving out there. And this study has been published in a IEEE journal.
Really?
Yeah. It's at the early age only. Like in 2011 only, I published a journal where people were still thinking about publications and all. I was more into literature, writing out my things and
I
everything.
remember you shared with me that you come from a family of teachers, so you want to do that. Fantastic, huh?
So this way, I published a paper which is called Hand Rotate EEG Signal, and it's available on the market right now. So in that paper, I am clearly specifying to say that what are all difficulties I faced in order to collect one signal of just hand rotate.
So you gave honest,
honest thing to say, when a person thinks about hand rotate, he's thinking in his own way, and now he doesn't know what is he thinking. So
I'm glad you wrote that paper. I should read that paper. Send it to me. I'll have a look at it.
So then I asked them, like, this is what is my experiment, and I gave the same explanation to my in my project defense also. I asked them to close all of their eyes. Asked them, think about
all your friends.
My Viva, project Viva, final Viva.
You mean
examiners. Because end of the day, I only have to give the expression to them. Say like, give me marks now. What I have done is right. This is my thesis. End of my M.Tech.
Correct.
Now when I am submitting my thesis, I explained them. Said like, close all of your eyes, and I said water. They all thought of water. Then I said, open your eyes. Tell me what is water for you. They said, I thought a tumbler with water. One guy says, I imagined a sea with water. One guy says, I imagined a Kaveri river. So each person, for him, water is a definition of with an image, but there is no water definition. What is a signal of water? We couldn't even still find out.
Amazing, amazing. I can clearly relate as a neurosurgeon. I can clearly relate what you're saying, because that is why it is failing. And people want to take this data without qualifying and quantifying, and do AI on ML on that. What's the point? This is what is happening today. Most of them want to interpret some data that's available. Everybody is lazy. Nobody wants to put in the data correctly, and that's where the problem is coming.
Yes. So, and the next project I had done with the same thing was to control the same thing on a robot. To say, you have to make the robot move forward, back, left, right. I wear the headset, I do it, it goes forward, back, left, right. Now I put on the headset to you. What should I tell you? How do I ask you to control it now? What is forward in your head? What do I say? Think about forward now. They will be thinking like this. They'll be like, oh, it's going back. Oh, this is called back. And after 1 or 2 practices, right, people will surely stuck on, they'll understand what signal to be sent to make the robot go forward, to make the robot go backward. And this way, I think the examiners also were saying that you have done a good study, but it doesn't quantify anything. I said, what you think and what you do on your hand is the same. So first thing is, I asked them, there's lots of noise again, because my ears, my number of channels that is coming. When I close my eyes, it's like a TV channel, keeps changing the episodes every second. I remove one more comes in. I remove one more comes in. So there was no steadiness in what we wanted to think.
That's why this, the ancient Indian Maharshis and yogis used to tell about controlling the mind and have nothing in the mind. And I think you are clearly given that the mind is so busy, doing so many things. And now you want that BCI to control it, controlling other things at the same time. The robot needs a clean signal. Single
classifier to say, okay, I understand what this signal means. But it is getting noised by...
I hope our viewers understand all these things, because everybody wants to get a robot to clean a car and all of. They understand the signal has to come one at a time, and that's how the brain also processes information. It's all in 0-1 stuff. That's what it's connecting.
And we knew that there's multiple ways of learning things. Like a person cannot learn the same thing in the same way. Every person learns in a different way. The way I have learned addition might be different from the way you have learned addition or division. So it's about just the experience that we get, and how do we use that experience and correlate with the outside world with the simple things that we do across. I think that is one thing I learned from that BCI project. And in Nimans also, people were happy. At least I got one patient, because I made them, end of the day, my project was, I showed them, you have to think of this image as water.
Oh, you showed them?
I showed them. And they said, this image as for the pain, this image for this. And that worked, because when they used to think about that image, when I showed them the image, it became normative now. everybody start thinking of water means they used to think of that image saying this is water. Now the signals became correlating, and it started correlated. And then it started putting out water, pain, and she could be able to communicate with her caregivers, with the next speaker there with a headset on top of it saying water.
Oh, that signal became audible. Whoa.
And
whoa.
the one more interesting fact that I
This
got.
is 2011.
2011. One more interesting fact that I got out of all these things is the signals which come from the body itself. That is like outplaying all the other signal, like going for emergency, like susu and your restrooms kind of a thing. Those signals are much more prominent again, and that, from here, and that hits and it correlates 100% everyone the same. The pain, even you're pinching somebody, that signal also correlates the same. There's a spike immediately that you can say this is because of pain. The brain is reacting very much higher. And we had all this alpha, beta, gamma, delta, all these signals coming into play, and the thing was like it was fascinating because signals and system I had learned. I knew how to apply it.
The excitement on your face.
Yeah, I was so happy to say I have applied my engineering knowledge into finally into some place. You know, like I was happy about it. Till then, it was just where are we learning? Why are we learning this? And why is this so much of maths?
And why can't people do that to everybody? See, you are lucky, something happened, you got that second guru or third guru who did something for you. But this, I think every student deserves this at the end of the day, you know, because then we don't know who is the next Stafford in that room.
Yes.
Let's be honest about it, correct? No, you're just one of those 20, 50, 80, 100 students who are there going through this whole journey. And somewhere, you know, God chose that you go down a different path, probably. Whatever, wherever it is, you know, you can choose destiny, God, whatever it is at the end of the day. Yes. Very interesting. But you are playing the game. See, one thing I should acknowledge, you're always in action, always wanting to be.
To do that. And opportunities. Wherever I found an opportunity, I've never left it. Not thinking it as a big or a small. Always an opportunity is an opportunity for me to see whether do I fit in there. Let me try. What is there in not trying it? And unless you try, you never know.
Absolutely.
What is in it.
You go shopping for dress, you try, but that's why it's called trial room. You try the dress, you don't like it, you throw it, you don't like it, you walk out of the place.
Just backing out by thinking it is difficult, it's very big project, it's like that. I could also have thought about it that when I heard about BCI, nobody knew what I was talking that time. And
of course, 2010-11 BCI
my professors itself used to say, you are doing something different. And I was still like, yes, sir, I also don't know. I'm just trying to figure out end of the day.
Amazing.
And that led me also to say like, okay, I want to bring this out into other areas of my project. So I started out my Ph.D. After my M.Tech is completed, gone into Ph.D.
Before I come back to your Ph.D., I want to actually rewind back a little bit for you. You know, one very interesting thing you said is you used to make money making projects and all that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. I think that's a very exciting part of.
Yes.
You know, you're a very smart kid. You know, staying in Mysore, doing all these things. Tell us what got you to that. Where were you in your career or life at that time and things like that?
So when I was in my B.Tech, my dad never used to give us pocket money. Never I asked him pocket money when I was from young. So karate I was taking classes. I used to get money also that time because I used to get the class money to saying you're taking a class. This class goes to you. And then when I came into engineering, I saw an opportunity.
You saw money. You earned money early.
And then I came down into my engineering in the final year. I saw there was a business running. Again, I said Madhusudan. He was there and he used to do these projects for everyone. There was one more person called Edwin. He also used to do engineering projects.
Oh, for all the students?
All the students.
Oh, they have this stuff to do POCs and all.
And the end of the project data. Engineering students never do projects, which I've seen in very sad that is. But I also didn't know that time, but I got to know it later that I shouldn't do this. But this was
you also did the same thing.
I also did the same thing to say, he is making a business out of it. Let me try. So I made a project and I sold it for five people. Next year also that project only got sold. Only thing that is changing is the name. Smart agriculture system, water monitoring system, IoT enabled agriculture system. That was the just the name changes, but the project is the same. So then I thought, okay, now this is what I did, and for 2 years, and I did this giving out my projects to even to my seniors also. Just to get, I was very good in coding. So I had learned C and C++.
Where did you learn that? On your own, huh?
On my own, no. I think it was done in. I went to a tuition center like in Keonix. If you remember, the government
I know.
had started a Keonix center, and that is where I enrolled to one of it because it was free from the college side to say you have to learn C and C++. And near my house there was a Keonix center.
So how many? It is free. College offering. How many people from your class enrolled to this? That is, how many
I would
people in your
say
class?
5 or 6 people only.
Out of
out
how
of
many?
70 to 80 people. That's an opportunity, as I told you.
And see, it was available for
Available
everybody.
for everyone.
This is what I want the viewers to understand, that this world is very democratic. Opportunity is there for everybody. It was free. And it came to your college. Yet some people choose it, many people don't choose it. And then they say, look at Stafford, he's so lucky. What? There's nothing lucky in this. You just took action.
I just took action. Yes, that is what I felt like. Okay, it is near my house. I can go. I can afford some time over there. And I had time because karate had taught me how to manage time.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's very importantly. I learned that I have time for everything. So there was nothing to say I didn't have time. I had time for studies. I had time for my fun activities. I had time for my family. Every activity.
But you are coding and generating more time, huh? What are you doing? Maybe you are 28 hours a day. I should check out what is going on.
So that was the time. I had so much amount of time to do, and I had so much time to waste also. So I was like thinking, there's lots of time in my life which I have to utilize for other things. So
you went for this Keonix class?
I went for this Keonix class. 6 months. I learned C and C++ over there. And that was a base because in college and all we learned, but it was not up to an extent what those guys taught me about
from the industry level.
Level kind of an experience, giving us problem statements. There was one program to say like write an elevator program, how it goes from one floor to the other floor. Writing all those gave us an idea to say, we can control systems like this. And that encouraged me to say, I knew that knowledge, it combined with my hardware knowledge. Now I could give life by writing a software. Like now you say we need a hardware, we need a software. Together,
you learned both.
I learned both the things now. So now I was more confident because challenge of problems, I had no issues because I say, okay, if you come with a new problem statement, I can understand what you want. I can deliver it also. So I started getting confidence to say any problem statement comes in, I can do it. Let's see.
And you started doing projects.
I started doing projects. So I did around like 40 to 60 projects in a year.
In a year, huh?
In a year, and that too only in 3 months. That is a business which
runs around that time.
October, November, December, January, close. Only 4 months you struggle and you work and you get payments out of it, like 10,000 rupees per project kind of a thing.
So you were a rich guy at that time, huh?
That is what funded me for all my things, about my future and all. But once I saw that I was moving on in that way, and then I
So not only you learnt, and you mastered that at somebody else's cost.
Yes.
It's like,
and I was getting paid for it.
That's what I said, that you're getting paid for it. Amazing.
I learned it.
Amazing.
And they were funding my research to say what I'm going to do for them.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
I took it in that format as an opportunity, and
amazing.
I learned. And I know it was wrong, but I had nobody to guide me in that form. And I had kept it a secret among myself to say, don't tell it to anybody that Stafford gave. But it was an open secret in the entire college to say, go to him, you will get your project. That is how it was. Ready-made. And this, my ma'am also, that is Bindu Thomas, knew about it. She said...
She didn't scold you?
She didn't scold me. She asked me, are you doing all these things? I said, no ma'am, I'm not doing. I know you're doing this. I said, no, I'm not doing this. I just helped them to get their project done. I said, okay, but don't do it like that, okay? And don't give everyone the projects for free. And said, yes ma'am, I'll follow that. And was not giving it for free, no?
She didn't know that.
She didn't know that.
Smart guy, yeah. You're a smart guy.
So she used to recognize...
We should map your brain and see what is going on inside.
And she was the person who also pointed me out to go to M.Tech. So, and once I finished my M.Tech with all these knowledge
PhD.
That I had...
We'll come back to your PhD. You said you
I enrolled into PhD. Now, I wanted a guide and she was my guide. And she was like, okay, you take...
Same Bindu
Thomas.
Thomas.
So she said, you put whatever topic you want. So I had a topic which was about BCI.
Oh.
But again, same brain comp. I wanted to continue what I had left out.
You've been in this field for 14, 15 years now.
Yes.
No wonder you're an ustad.
So I in my entire almost years, I think...
And you see, the key, sorry to butt in, the key here is, at no point of time in the initial stages, you are doing it for getting a job. You're doing it purely to learn, and the joy of learning I can see on your face. I think that's the message they have to get. That you have to learn first before you earn. People want to earn without learning, and when the learning has to be pure. It should not be attached to, if I learn this, I'll make 20,000 rupees. If I learn this, I'll make 30,000. I don't think that was in your mind at all.
Nothing was in my mind
Correct.
about where it is going to go also.
Correct.
It was just that I was doing it and it got paid off because my ability and my skill was saying, yeah, you are good at it. So people started recognizing me as saying, okay, and after my enrolled into this PhD, then I thought, okay, now I should do my PhD at a full on my own self. No asking anybody's help. I'll do full on research, and my aim was to get a Nobel Prize that time.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was looking into lots of things. PhD, no,
Before you go to Nobel Prize, you also told me that time karate you want to go to Olympics. You forgot to tell about that. What is that? That was all about before you come to Olympics.
So karate,
take a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, so karate was not recognized in school games also, not recognized in Olympics also. Taekwondo was there, but karate was not there as a event in Olympics. But we had a hunch that saying karate will come to Olympics sometime because Japanese are working. We have referees, we have referrals, all these things happening. So in India there was a organization called All India Karate Federation. So Sensei told me, like, you are a black belt, you have studied also, you have become an engineer now. You enroll into these exams and become a referee for India. So I was like, okay, let's go join and start learning. So I had crossed my age because I know 18 years of people who are in karate are much more faster and good when compared to what I was in 23, 24. So my students are much better because they have learned from me the full tactics of what I do. So I was becoming a coach than a karate practicer, like who is going to go and fight there. So I was like, okay, let me become a coach now. So that is where the series of stopping the tournaments. My sensei also was like, no, you don't fight, make your students fight. So I was like, okay, sensei, I won't fight. I'll make my students fight. So my category left and I started going into the coach. I became a judge in the All India Karate Federation. And then that was my first step where I got my first badge. That badge on my coat still reminds me, saying that that gives me recognition. Nobody else had it in my entire class. Me and my sensei, both of us, we used to go stand there, that judge coming into play and sitting there, and the respect comes into play. That community was good. Then I thought, okay, let me go much more further than this. So sensei also was pushing me, saying like, Stafford, you can even do the AKF also for the Commonwealth Games. That is Asian Karate Federation. Now it is All India. Now I became to Asian Karate Federation. So we went to Delhi and there was a chance where it came to India, where the exams had to be conducted in India. And this is an exam now. There is an exam which is given like a English part of it. But in India, we had a very nice problem. This is first time it has come to India, and these guys didn't know what they are going to face with this multicultural land of our country.
Oh, the Japanese guys.
Japanese guys and everybody else. They come from Dubai, they come from Japan, they come from everywhere. Now, all our question and answers are in English. Now, masters are all sitting who are from Kerala, and all these guys, they don't know English at all. Now they're seeing the question, they're asking, put it in Malayalam. Some guys will sit and say, put it in Tamil. They can't even read what they're asking. Now you think about, this is our way. Now,
amazing how this country is. No, in fact, Google is in 12 Indian languages. I was telling that to my professor in Japan. He was laughing.
So I said, like, Papa, what even they can do? They are only prepared in English. How do they know you want in Malayalam, you want in Tamil, you want in Telugu and all? So then they said, okay, you can understand. I was the only person who could read the question and answer it. They were all the masters sitting around me. I used to say, first question, second option, third option, fourth option, in order to pass them out. That was some cheating kind of a thing. But I also can't help them because they knew the answer. It's only the language and the communication, and they have.
So that's the message. So you, though it sounded like cheating, you knew they were capable. It's just because of the language barrier they
couldn't do it.
Got it.
They can't read English, but they can understand.
I'm so
who's
happy
going to
that
read it also?
You are so selfless and you are willing to teach others and help others. I think that's a great value system that you have.
Yeah.
Continue.
And then I think we all passed. I also passed, and we had our exams on the ground now. That is where I also cannot help. Nobody can help. That is only the book can write. Now the practice comes into play. Some of them don't even know what they are going to do, what they have to do at the right point and all. But I was trained fully by Sensei. Almost like a 6 months constant training, which went before I even attended the exam.
Again,
That
practice. Again, training and
I
practice.
had full
By an
confidence.
expert.
Yes, I knew what's going to happen there. I knew what signals I have to provide. What is a kind like how they show in the umpire, or when is it out, when it is not out, no ball. All those kinds of classifications I knew. I had read the book and it was in my head. So I used to bring out all those things. Somehow passed it and came back to Mysore with a full on saying I am a Commonwealth referee now. That gave me a part to say like, okay, I've done something, achieved what I wanted. And Olympics was something I always want to go there. I always thought like the highest level of sports is Olympics, and in our sports, like how World Cup of cricket is there. Still, cricket is not in Olympics, but hopefully
It's coming.
It has
Los
to.
Angeles Olympics. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's
like that. We used to hope like karate also will come to Olympics. Now I think last this Olympics karate was there in the first time. But again, I lost it because I waited for it to come. It didn't happen. But at one point, I felt like, okay, I should do that. Now it's a time I felt, okay, I've done up till Asia. I have to go to the Olympics also. I spoke to my sensei. He was telling, in January, if you're free, you practice fully, then I'll see. So I was like, 2 months, I can't do all that thing. I need a year of a time to go get back into that state. But yeah, that's how Olympics part of it where I want to go in future.
You really had to clear
leader. About, yes.
You want to go to the top. You're not compromising on this, and you're willing to put the miles on the ground. That is the key. Everybody wants to become the Mahendra Singh Dhoni or this one, but they don't want to do the effort on the
effort
ground.
on the ground. Yeah.
And this Nobel Prize, you were talking about the Nobel Prize. Now, where did that come in from?
Yeah. So when my guide asked me saying like, what topic are you going to do your PhD on? Now I have to find a topic which is very nice, very fancy. Not everybody has done in the world, and I started finding out that MRI was that is in the accident times. MRI was getting distorted. So I thought, let me work on this image. This will lead to the Nobel Prize. Somewhere it had written in the literature. So I was happy about it to say, let me go and learn about it. And I gave this topic. My ma'am saw it and they said, what have you written here? She said, this is a topic, ma'am. If I finish this, they should give us a Nobel Prize. She said, no. Cut it down. Make it short. Be very focused on your PhD. PhD is not like a child's play. It is not like how you do engineering project or a B.Tech project. And she was laughing about to me to say that it's only a child's play for you. And then I was like, okay, let me change my topic. She came up with I met one more doctor whose name was Dr. Kiran in JSS Medical
Doctor
Hospital.
means medical doctor or
Medical
PhD?
doctor. So she was a radiologist in JSS Medical College. And she's HOD of there, and she's also practicing in JSS hospital only. So she told me like, you work on, I'm working on breast cancer. You also work on breast cancer. I will provide you all the images and everything, because end of the day I need data. Normative data and abnormal data. Where will I get this? So I had to go to hospitals to get their consent to give me some valuable data on MRI and all. So I couldn't find MRI that time everywhere. In 2013, it was not present at what we are looking into right now. As of now. So, and people were not ready to give a consent to say, I'm going to give this data to you about this cancer and all. So I was like worried about it, and she helped me out in getting some ultrasound images. And that's where my PhD topic started, and I landed up finishing it up in 3 years. So in the third year, I went to my guide and I told her I've completed my project. This is my paper. And I published it in one of the best journals, which is from Springer, which is in a biomed evolutionary intelligence. So that was one of the good journals, which were very free and free journals basically, but a scope. It is called an SCI index journals. So I went and I published into an SCI index journals, and in the meantime I was also a professor. So I knew which journal to publish, which will give me weightage, where do I put my work so that it is
Hey, smart
recognized
guy,
more.
yeah, yeah, smart
And
guy.
I had researched about all these
All
things.
this you learned yourself.
Yeah,
nobody.
all myself, nobody.
See,
And
self-learning is, I think, very
I
important.
wrote my own papers. I used to write papers for all the lecturers, content writing. To say, give me a topic, I will sit and I'll write.
I have
At
to
the
map your
end
brain
of the
sometime.
day,
Let me see what's going on inside.
in 2016, by the time I was in the 4.5 period of time, I had published 70 papers.
7-0.
7-0 totally
Whoa.
on various projects that I have done. That was a big growth that I got. That is where I learnt about various other technologies, not only limited to robotics, but limited to image processing, normal mathematics, everything. I used to find out. I used to do a project. I used to find out what is a problem there, identify a problem.
You're
and
doing these
find
projects for what? For the students?
for
again,
the
huh?
students again,
Oh.
inside the college only. This was all in the college. Now that is also which led to me to be a robotics engineer, because I got a grant from VGST, which is called Vision Group of Science and Technology, which is from Government of Karnataka.
Karnataka, okay.
Karnataka. And this is for all the colleges of Tier 2. This was Tier 1 colleges are different. They get a different kind of funding because IITs and all comes under Tier 1 colleges. Being in Mysore, a Tier 2 college, which is an women's engineering college, where I was a professor there, and I was doing my Ph.D. and professor. And there I got one chance to say, you write a proposal. So me and my again the third guru, that is Dr. Shiv Kumar. He was introduced by me from my previous guru, that is Dr. Bindu Thomas. After engineering my PhD, she is my guide, but she introduced me, where I spent more time with him in learning about his work and what is he wants to do. And his knowledge gave me a lot of idea to say I had to do something to survive and do something good in the college, so that I be the top of the chain. Everybody wants promotion, appreciation. End of the year they ask you how much, what have you done and all. Everybody comes with the same thing to say, I have done four lectures are there, this is done. I had a different way of giving my appraisal. I said I got 9 gold medals in my karate. Because of my karate, my students have got 9 gold medals in VTU. And that was my first appraisal. Second appraisal, I said I have done 70 projects in my first year when I am in the college. And then the third appraisal was like to say like I've published more than 70 papers. Now that is one more thing, that it was a crown. Everybody started seeing me as saying, this guy publishes paper every day. What is he doing? Just writing papers, putting it into journals, applying. And all my workload also, they started seeing all this and they started reducing it to say, you do more of this. And the college started giving me, the VGST grant came in, I became a robotics coordinator. So I got the whole lab, which is about 100 by 100 feet, very big class. And I had like full of my gadgets of 30 lakhs worth, got from US and all. I met good people also, because I had money now. I had to go meet and find out where do I get all these equipments. And again, my karate was still with me. It was always, never left it. So I started doing a project where I wanted to do a video referral for karate. Because I was already in referee. I knew that there was no video referee happening at all in karate, like how it happens.
Third umpire.
Third umpire, they show, one step.
Like this,
yeah. That was not there at all. And this is when I started thinking, how do I do this? So I had 4 Kinet cameras. And this
the one Microsoft
had done. So that was the start of this Xbox era and PSP era, and Kinet Xbox was there. And I got all these 4 cameras, and I started mapping all my karate motions on top of it. My idea was, at that time, my grandmaster was old. He was already my Japanese master. He was around 88 or 89 kind of age. Now I wanted to store his knowledge, because I had learned from him when I was a childhood. I've seen him do it. Now he cannot perform also. He cannot perform the way he wants to. Now people will start seeing that his body is bending. He's not lifting his leg height. Why would he lift his leg height at that age? So I was like, as we do is different, what he does would be different. Now this is what was a difference I wanted to capture and say, teachings of karate is in the normal traditional style only he could teach. We could not teach, because everybody converted it into business or sports. That was the sad part of what happened on the karate side. But I wanted to teach them that there is much more called Singhi Tai. That was my motto, which I always followed, saying that learn karate to do these three. Automatically, it will improvise your life. In every direction, solution comes to you because it gives you peace of mind.
Because it seems to have really helped you.
Yes, it gives you peace of mind, stress relief, problems and solutions, because fastness thinking, the reflex that you use your brain to say something is coming at you, you just dodge it. That movement itself is enough, and that movement can translate in your real world to say, how do you come up
The
with
synaptic connections.
Yes, synaptic connections to connect to how do you solve existing problems. That helped me out in training my brain, my body and everything. And I had no issues to say what I think I could do. If I wanted to jump 5 feet, can I do it or not? If I could do it, my body will support it directly. So it was just thinking happening, and rest of the things it used to happen. And I was very flexible. And I think that helped me out to say, channelize all my energy to say, I had one reason now to say, let me do video referral. There is nobody doing it first time. Because everything that I thought about, and I Googled it when I internet, somebody would have done it. Somewhere it would have been there, and this was not there. So I was like very happy saying, Sensei, I'll do this. And that is where I started off, and I published few papers. And
on karate
on the karate video. There's also certain publications, always ends up in publications. And once I finished this, I went to one more person who was helping me out with my hardware design. His name was Nagendra. At that, in 2014, Nagendra was helping me out in understanding electronics, and I used to go there for seeing how the factory is, how it is being done, sitting with him, and Mysore guy. And local and very close to me also, and he used to supply all materials to me. So I was happy to learn from him, and then he told me, Stafford, you have to meet one more person who is coming from US. He'll help you out with body tracking. Now I came and I told this to my principal, who was the principal of GSSS Engineering College, that is Dr. Shivkumar. He told me, go and talk to him, invite him for a talk. So I went to buy the suit, saying that, okay, I want a wearable technology because camera is limitation. It was only 4 feet far. Everything, we cannot keep it when it is 20 feet. So I was like a little bit worried about it. Then I said, let us put the hollow suit on the karate jacket itself, like some embedding into the system onto the body, like wearable sensors. Now, these were much accurate and much faster for me. I felt like, okay, it's a real world application. And we took it also as a project where we started doing it with I invited the grandmaster to come to India. Oh. We had those photos also where we made him wear the jacket. He was so excited to say, oh, my body motion is here. And he wanted to give his best because he thought this could save my knowledge and represent me in my future. Now, because
give a legacy.
Give a legacy as well to show. Only videos we used to show, but this can be moved and skewed around in 3D. Now, a video is just a 2D where I'm not interacting with it, not doing anything. So we wanted somebody to interact. That is when we learn. If it is just teaching you, end of the day, 15, 20 minutes attention span, we will yawn. So this is what I had in my mind. And Harsha was another guru who got introduced me by all my previous gurus to say, follow him, he's also doing a good job like you. And they let me go. Literally every person always took me to the next level and said, go to the next level.
You are blessed.
Yeah, I am blessed in that way. I keep telling everybody, I found people who are
you see how they literally,
yes.
It's like we say in our scriptures, so somebody
is
holds
hand-holding me
and then
let go. And saying, you continue over
and not
there.
asking anything back, saying, I did so much for you.
Yes.
And a lot of people say, no, I've done so much for him. Why is he not giving anything back? Because somebody else will give it to somebody else. It's just amazing.
So I am blessed with teachers.
I think so.
I always respect them.
Because you are also committed as a student. I think maybe it's a 50-50
50-50. Yeah, I was very committed. I never said no to them. And I had I never knew a word called no. Whenever they asked me something, I used to say yes, possible. Because saying no was very easy. Saying yes also is very difficult. Now the time also comes into play. But I had lots of time. I should say, okay, I have time. Let's sit and finish it. So that is one more skill which I picked up, doing it fast. Like, I used to sit for 24/7. From being a karate guy and engineering together, I started pushing my limits because of all the energy that I had conceived in my energy of my karate, which is my stronger Muladhara of my chakras is very strong. It's very strong. Everybody could feel that you are on the excitement level. Your Muladhara, you have made it into a next level, and everybody used to say that you have done it, you have achieved that, so continue with that. So go ahead, your confidence will push you. So I was like going ahead and saying, yes, we can do. What is the problem? Afterwards we'll think. We'll sit first. Let's first sit and do, and then see what's the problem. What's wrong with it? And I said like,
I'm also like that.
I said
agree.
like, I'll do it. And results started coming into play, and people could see, oh, in one day we could finish 90% of the job. And it was just that I could showcase also. And we have sorted out like saying multiple clients like this. Like few projects which I would want to tell was the hollow suit itself. The first time it moved, I had Jenga blocks in my hands. Jenga blocks is one which you pull and it used to fall the buildings. You make one after the other and you pull the
they show
blocks
us all
out.
the,
Yes.
uh-huh.
Now those wooden blocks were my hands, my legs and other things, because I had not made a suit. So I put it on Jenga blocks. I used to make him move like a humanoid avatar, and I started controlling a humanoid robot. And that was my first ever interaction of converting a body motion onto a real world robot. To say, if I lift my hand like this, that robot also is going to lift its hand up, left, down, starting moving across. You remember
So brain body, from
yes,
brain you
yes,
come to body now.
Yes, if you remember, we had come to PRS once and we got a robot, humanoid robot with a
I remember that.
and a jacket, and we asked them to wear, and that boy got excited.
Excited, I remember that, yeah.
I think that was the moment when I also felt like I don't know where this application is going to, because there was no Avatar film that time. To say Iron Man was not there, nothing was there. We had not yet even gone to that era to think, okay, a person can control a humanoid robot far away from a distance. This was the first time when I saw a person walking and he's getting excited. I am also excited, saying that, okay, somewhere one application has hit here. Because it's a small humanoid, right? So I think that was my first breakthrough, which I got a name called Machine Man.
You got a name Machine Man?
I got a name Machine Man when I went into this. This Ivanka Trump had come into India.
Oh, you got connection Trump and all that. I better be
So-
keep it good, good books.
Yeah, so this was in Hyderabad, road to GES. If you remember, we had I think this was also one guy we met in Pune. He remembered me from there, Hyderabad. In this, he was showing me that virtual reality. They are doing some surgery equipment, right, in Pune. So from there, I thought like, okay, this guy saw me there. It reminded me why I went there. I was like just demonstrating. I was the alone guy. Harsha was in the side. I was talking to the people, making them understand what it does. We had a mobile phone. We had a robot controlling everybody around us. The hype was so good that robot and man controlling. Press was always behind us because we are showing something in reality.
Like my guitar surgery.
Yeah, it's first time that people are seeing something moving, and that became a stage wave performance. So they took it to the stage and they made me sit there and asked me for half an hour. I am sitting like this, showing them, hey, my hand is moving up and down, left and right. All this motion. And the next day on Marathi paper, I see, I don't know what it was done in Mumbai. So, and then I was looking into this and I'm like, oh, what does it mean? Then we say, they have written your name as Machine Man. Oh, yes, like, hey, Machine Man. That was the first name. I got it. I think from there is when my robotics journey started off, converting body mechanics, and got excited. Led a lot of other projects also on top of it.
I think you're destined to do what you're doing right now.
Yes.
Stafford. I'm just thinking. Because normally people go from body to brain. You've come the other way around. Which I think that's the right way actually, because you really know how the brain works, how it doesn't work.
Yes. Yeah, so I think still there's lots of things to done. I still feel like I'm still yet contributed only 0.001% of what
You're being very
of what is being
very,
delivered in this world. But yeah, there's lots of way to go on when it compares to the brain. Like everything else has been leveraged and understood at the very highest extent. Only the part remaining is the brain. That is where I think the rebooting the brain
Correct.
is very important to understand how to reboot it.
I think so. And I think you are a guy who likes to dirty his hands on the ground. Because a lot of people want to become managers. Hey, I'm manager, I only manage people. And people feel proud of it. I think like me as a neurosurgeon, with my patients every day, I think dirtying the hands is very important. Others, it's like sharpening a knife every day.
Yeah. So let me tell you an example of the life what I had in my early days. In my startup, There were only two people, me and the founder of the company. So what is a position that we will have? So one is the president, one is the CEO, and the other guy is the vice president. Three of us are present. Now I already got the highest position to say I'm the vice president of the company. Now that doesn't mean that I have to sit on the chair, because I knew that if I don't learn, I will not be capable of handling that title called vice president. Because in future I knew I'm going to hire people. How am I going to teach
See,
them?
that's a very important message. You're giving so many messages to people. I hope people really get value, especially engineers who think that I work twice a week. I work from home. I think what you're giving is incredibly valuable.
So that is where I thought, like, okay, let me be on the ground. I said, like, even though I have a title of VP and all, I don't care. I just want to sit there and work. Once I do that, I will come and tell what I have done.
Correct.
And then I can teach others also to say, follow this path.
Yes, that's
Don't
the right
take
way.
this one, but take this, because this will work for you. And I have done this much, you have to follow the next step. So that is what is a guidance also we should be able to provide. Being a leader is just not to say I have a title. It's about to tell what you need to do next. What is your plan for this? What problems are going to come on the ground? Because theoretically everything is 1 + 1 is equal to 2. But when we hit on the ground, we know that, oh, this is not at all 1 also here.
Correct.
We
See,
are
that
in points.
Yes, visionary. That's what is important. People should get that. Everybody wants to be leader. You put a startup, put a CEO. And you know what they say, the startup guys? Valuation. And exit. Damn it, how can you, what are you doing? You're not starting this, which gives the maximum money, maximum. People are crazy.
People are going crazy. Like if you see, Bangalore has the highest startups in the
Right.
in the
And that's a
entire
good
India.
thing. But
Like,
they should not do it for the wrong reason.
yes, and 99% of the startup goes off in the first year only, and the reason is because of this, because they don't have a vision. They say it's easy to put 15-20,000, establish a private limited company, but continuing that entire system of focus, having a vision to say I'm going to make this, the roadmap, the planning, that should come with the experience. So I would say till 30 for all the engineers is that keep learning until the age of 30. And at the age of 30, you have to think whether what have I learned the best? What is my quality? What is my skill which helps me out to go to the next level? Because until there, you acquire everything. Don't say no to anything. Just keep acquiring skills, keep improvising yourself, learn better things, keep changing projects. Don't stick on to one particular thing. But after 30, you think and pause for a while and think whether I'm doing it in the right way. In 35 is when I say hit the startup. If you want to do in that 5 years of planning from 30 to 35 is when you're going to do a startup. If you start at a very low age, you don't even know what the world is. It's a big whale there.
Yeah.
Everybody
And also,
is going to come
And also it may be like a lottery.
Lottery.
Happens. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
everybody is not lucky at
But
all.
learning is the first thing that they have to do, and then establish a startup will help them out a
I'm
lot.
glad you're saying this, because see, for us as as neurosurgeons, every year we are constantly learning new things. We are going, we are taking notes, because that upgrading knowledge to treat the human being better is always something that we have. But I don't hear that among engineers going constantly to conferences, upgrading knowledge. Nobody is doing that. They're just doing some mundane job they're doing, but they expect the salary rise every year.
Every year,
I don't know
yes.
how. Correct, Alva?
Yes,
I just don't
yes.
understand how that damn thing goes. I've not understood
So
this.
in engineering, like most of the big companies that I speak around, like what amount of work the startup does. For example, our own company, what work we do, they would take more than years, 4 to 5 years to even do that, what we are thinking across. The reason is, it's like, I don't know why.
Like a government office,
Yeah,
huh?
like a government office kind of a thing. They come, they do their work and they leave.
Coffee time, this time, that time.
And they are much more free in most of their time, wasting their times. I see most of them wasting their time and not doing what they like. They are just getting a job of what the other person is offering. They're not getting what they want to do.
Actually, what you said, sorry again to interrupt. A lot of people say, which course are you taking? If you ask them, that's whatever field or whatever,
Field.
computer science or whatever.
Computer
Why
science
are you
field.
taking that? No, I get best job.
Yes.
That's all. There's not what they like. Where they make best job, that's a wrong way.
That's a wrong way
wrong way.
of looking to say where I'm. Yeah, that is important to have a goal, to have your own company which you want to join. For example, some people will say like, I want to go and join Google. At least they have to work towards that goal to say what I need to do step by step to reach Google. Now in Google, what are you going to do? Google
Correct.
is a big Google.
Correct, big Google, correct. You have small Google there.
It's like a big Google. I always say to students, like, if nothing can be, there is no answer that a Google Baba cannot answer.
Correct.
You put something, it will tell something, or
Something,
the
correct,
other.
correct.
It is
Whether right or wrong,
not, we don't know. But it is going to give you some initial start point to say, from here you start.
Correct.
First definition.
Your Google Baba is becoming outdated. You got to chat GPT.
Yeah, I say leverage it. So I used to leverage Google Baba a lot to say, like, whenever I think in the Hollow Suit and all the companies that I worked, I used to say, you're coming and asking me questions which even I also don't know what is the answer for it. First Google it. Come with certain documentation to say, sir, Google says this with your learnings, or read some books. Somewhere you have to find it out.
Before we had to go to library reference.
Yeah.
Oh, how much we used to do all those things.
We used to do all those things because we had no chat GPT.
Correct,
We had no
exactly.
integration
I think
of
people
data.
have got, I think right now, I was telling somebody recently, what the future generation need is a lot of inspiration, because they have information is excess. The inspiration is the problem, and that's where I think people like you, it's just amazing. How old are you?
I'm 36 right now.
So I see, 36, your prime time. It's amazing. I think they should really I think you should tell everybody to learn karate. I think that may be the best way
Yeah,
to really
I always tell at least one activity you have to learn which is external, which helps you to, again, control your mind, body and soul. It might be swimming, it might be karate, it might be boxing, it might be running. Whatever you do, give your focus on it to bring these three things to one
I'm
posture.
going to ask the last question. I think this has been really exciting. Is you said something that you were working with the Indian Army,
Yes.
and you really were passionate about. Can you tell our global viewers what that was, and what did you achieve, and what was your experience with that whole
Yes,
process?
so the Indian Army connection was something very important in my life because it changed a lot of things that I learned inside Army, how the life in Army people goes around. And as an engineer, I knew I couldn't never be a frontline defender to help out the country. But I always wanted one thing to do on the Indian Army side to say, let me go and help them out some way or the other. So this was one of the projects which came to us because of Hollow Suit again, because of my body motion capture. And there was a time where this PUBG got too much viral across, where lots of people used to play PUBG on their mobile phones. Now, that was all in the hands. As I told you, this is not real reality. It's virtual reality. People use their thumb, which means if you are able to kill people on your mobile phone, doesn't mean you can kill people on the ground.
That's what is happening. People think it translates to
It
real life.
translates to that. Driving the phone here doesn't mean that you can drive a car on the ground. So I was telling them this is not a way to learn, but if your body is involved in it, as soon as reflexes comes into play, it will start giving them that reflex in the real world also. So this was one of the project which was given to us by SDD, which is Simulation Development Division from Hyderabad. So that is a small startup. Again, it's like a startup of Indian Army, where they only give joint partners to other companies to say, come and work along with us to build and help out our Indian Army people. And Hyderabad is a host of training. It does a lot of training for all the infantry and all the other people for the Indian Army. It's a training, it's a peace place where they only get trained. And then they get deployed to the other places. Now, this is a good place of training. So I thought, let's go and give out certain ideas to them. So we gave an idea where we said, like, instead of you playing on the fingers, we make you play by holding a gun in a small area where you can walk and you can crawl down, you can crouch.
So
and
physically
you can do that. So they came up with a project with us after 1 or 2 months and told me, yes, we'll start off with this. And this project was already initiated by them in 2012 by RTAC, but nobody could finish it. 3 terms had gone to it and nobody could ever complete it fully. So I took the project in 2019, and I think the Hollow Suit team got the project, and I was one of the delivery manager. Means I told I'll only go there because this is something that I have worked on extensively on VR and body tracking, and I should be there. So since it was the first big project, it's a name for the startup was that we have worked along in Indian Army. We took that project and we went there for 1 year. They expected it to be done in 6 months. Army people, they said, I want it yesterday only. But,
As usual.
but I was like, no, we are doing it from scratch for you, and we have to build it all from the ground and give the entire system local. There's no internet that they're going to provide me inside the army. So all local system, we made our own networks, we made everything possible, and we delivered. And this helped us out in a very big way, where we could see the change in the people that they used to come out. People who are passed out of 10th standard, 12th standard, all of them are
The
in
army.
the army. Now they are all the frontline people who have to go and learn. Now not everybody get exposure to these kinds of tech, nor they get exposure to how Kashmir is. They don't know how formations are done. They don't know how things will run in the real life. So because very few people get that exposure to be deployed in these kinds of situations. Now we made all the tactics there. So we captured the Kashmir's terrain where the most of the terrorist activity takes place. And
You went to Kashmir?
Yeah. And when we showed this all Nandial, Tangdar, Kupwala, and all these kinds of beautiful places they are. But they say we don't know who is who. It's very difficult to even judge them. The only way they judge them, we understood that we asked them also, how do you define who is terrorist among these common people here? They say, if they hold a weapon, directly gone. If they have some criminal activity of chits or some messages codes, that is how they defend it. Now we are worried to say, okay, how do we describe these people? And we made lots of terrains in this format to say how familiarization, to say once you wear a headset, the entire place becomes Jammu Kashmir now. Now they can navigate, they can see, oh, the Nadial villages is like this.
So you did a drone capture, huh?
Yeah, we took it from the Google Map. Google Map to say how the terrain looks like, but the photos were taken. They didn't give us a drone capture. We didn't have that technology yet come into play for us, but we took photos of all the houses. We made like around 35 to 40 different kinds of houses of how Jammu Kashmir people are there, understanding their hideouts, where they hide their things like a doors, inside cupboards, all underground stuff. These are all the experience of what people have faced. And we met lot of army officers who have actually been in these fights. They explained
all real
people. They're saying this is not how it happens. This is how only one bullet goes out. Either I am dead or he is dead. That is the reflex. Who shoots first? And that is bullets. He explains me saying bullets goes like zoom, and like there's only like a small sound that hits on the thing. One guy's eyes popping out, and all. We are like, oh my God, how do we show all these things in our domains? And this is what led us to build that beautiful experience, to give them, to say they get the same feeling of how a person would die
as real as possible. But in virtual
reality. So he might not die when they shoot me, but he is seeing in virtual reality that person is dead over there. And that feeling of seeing the bodies all going and shooting, that sound effects. Now this gave them a training also, to say before they go, they knew what is ambush.
It's like a simulation.
Yes,
like a pilot simulation.
Simulation. They knew how
Makes sense.
how commands used to be followed, because they used to say Amruk, say 9 baje, means like from the Amruk you have to see 9 o'clock of it. That is where you have to watch. So what is this Amruk? What is this 9 o'clock? Where is the
standardization?
Standardization, and giving variables to them to say how to make it easy for them to understand when they are in the real world.
And you can also repeat it
for n number of times
with low cost.
No ammunition, no gun. The gun was there with the feedback. So he used to pull the trigger, they used to get the feedback, and the bullet used to be fired. And it's a virtual bullet. Now imagine that, how many bullets you have fired. And that was also a count which we had given, saying one magazine only. Means they have to only shoot 17 to 18
But all
bullets.
virtual bullets.
All virtual bullets.
So they're saving money also.
And target practice. All this started becoming a part of their thing initially, before they have hand over weapons to them. So this was one of the projects, I think, one of where I spent 1 year. Hell, it was for me. Again,
well, you must be very proud of yourself that you could contribute something to the Indian Army.
Yes, it was a big project.
Hats off to you, boss. Hats off to you.
Yeah, it was one of the big projects where I met a lot of journals. Every journal used to come to... Generals who used to come to Hyderabad, they used to come and watch our project, see the VR. They used to see, oh, this is like night, day, snow coming into play. all that effect inside that small room, that gave them an excitement. और ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं, ये बहुत अच्छा है. Instead of playing the game, they used to only watch Jammu Kashmir. Some of them, the first time they're saying ये क्या होता है, वो क्या होता है. Nice experience. But that was a...
I also, you said thanks to this you went to the PM office also, where you didn't tell about
Yes,
that.
we went to, we had to showcase this product in the Indian Army, that is on the Army Day. That is on 21st of Jan. So that is where the Army Day is being done, and it's in Delhi in the General's office. So we had been given an opportunity to come and demonstrate this in front of the entire cabinet ministers, where PM Modi and all the other defense ministers, everybody were sitting. We had a chance to even meet him there and show that we are one of the innovative tech companies in India with respect to VR and XR.
Imagine that
Yeah.
small kid
Yes,
who took
landed
on
up
karate.
over there.
Can you imagine that karate kid who was just doing it for some energy, diversion to go to this visa? What a journey, Stafford. I mean, it's just amazing. It gives me goosebumps just listening to what you have done and doing it in real time. This is all real, that's the message. So that clearly gives your message there. You name it, we will. It looks like it. you look like the Elon Musk of India probably. You send a rocket to space. He's launching some new mobile phone. You saw that,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Which is going to make iPhone extinct. It's something like that. I saw in today's news.
So
Why, that guys are the...
what is important is just the idea and people to follow that idea and have belief in that idea to say yes, this will work. And once that is there, we can always go ahead. Like for example, I would have say starting a startup, first we go and dance in front of the entire, as a CEO or a co-founder or anybody who's starting that, he first dances. It's like dancing in front of an entire street. Somebody sees you and sees some potential in you that you're dancing. He comes and he also dance with you. Seeing you both dance, there are few more people who comes and again dance without any expectation there. Now that is what I would say startup should be like. You see a person is dancing there, simply is not dancing, he has a vision, and follow the vision. You will also see the happiness of why is he doing it. That is one thing that we have to always see. Not just put a monkey on the back on everybody, but instead take the monkey on your back and say I can carry the weight more as much as possible before transferring it.
Now that you're talking about weight, you forgot to talk about the exoskeleton that you built.
Yes.
I thought we were ending here, but you have to say that for sure before I close this.
After this project was completed, they came up with an idea to say we need to build an exoskeleton. Now, there were multiple other companies. Yes, they could also do it. But I had a very good knowledge about motion capture. So the company also had a very good suit which is used to capture the motion at the very highest precision level. So we thought let us put our efforts also into this. As just a fishing hook to say exoskeleton, we'll do it. We got the project just by demonstrating. What we demonstrated was that small robot again. Chota robot, which is the now. Now this was an upgraded version. Now we had that small robot which was just Robotis was one of that robot name, and now we upgraded ourselves to say let's not show it on Robotis, we'll show it on Navo. That Navo did a push-ups when I was doing the push-ups. I did like this, it also did the same thing.
Really?
I walked, it also walked.
Amazing.
So now seeing that, we said we can control this kind of a robot, we can also control an exoskeleton to be moving according to your body motions. Now that is where they understood our technicality to say you are good in innovation, you are a startup in India, you have rights to make this product, so you can start
Atmanirbhar Bharat is what we say.
Yes. So that way, again SDD is very good in that way. They give us startups a very good initiation towards defense. That is the only way I felt like you can enter. Or else there are multiple big ways. Again, making weapons and all needs lots of licensing, money into it, influence and everything. But these are some of the products that you have to think of, like radar. You can think about air defense system. These are all something that you don't need to worry. Having drones build up and to say recognize, plot some area, simulate these things to say this is where the enemy is present, follow a person, find out an object which is important, track and car. All these kinds of things is what people have to start off, and this will lead a small project that you do with them will lead to something big project at the end of the day. So Army led to me to do exoskeleton, and exoskeleton we made it walk at around 12 kmph per hour with carrying a payload of 50 kgs. But yeah, they wanted it at 30 kmph, so we couldn't achieve that part of it. But the first POC kind of a thing, we could achieve it in 1 year. Yes.
So, what is your current avatar as the CTO of PRS Neurosciences? What's going on here? That
Yes.
you are.
So right now I am in PRS. It's a healthcare division. Again, it's a new challenge to me. But the tech that I am using again is very old to me. I'm very comfortable in using it and applying it in this area. So since PRS neuroscience deals with brain, and it's about spine and head injuries. Most of the people who are not wearing helmet, please wear helmet, or else you will be the customer to PRS neuroscience, and sir will be there in order to be operating your head. So this is very important to say, like, how activities of the brain impact your body. Now, the only way that I can quantify it without putting a invasive headset is by their body motions or by external motion that they are giving out. So here is what we are trying out to link all the motions and other activities that they are doing. It might be cognitive, vision, communication, or actions that they are doing, that is the motor activities, to give certain value in their rehab, to understand what level of progress they have done over a period of time. Now, this will help us out to understand the problem in depth. Where is the actual problem being associated, quantifying that problem, what levels they are, and what is the next level that they need to achieve, which gives them goal in their life. To understand, I have to go at least here. Then I can think about going to the fifth level, sixth level. So that leveling system was not at all present unless or until I met you, sir. We got an entire mapping to be done there, because as a doctor, you see the patients. As a technology, we are trying to see how do we bring that knowledge into the tech and bring that into the patients, also understand that what they are, where they stand, where they have to move next.
Same
That
simulation we want to use
we
here.
want to use here. So saying, where are you going to go next? Everybody wants to know, where is my end goal, the purpose of why am I doing this here. Now that value is what you are going to get in PRS. And we are building all indigenous products, everything built in house. So we have a product called Poise, which is position orientation imbalancing sensing equipment. And we also have a brain pad. We have some CVC games coming up. I think all of this, the SEFA and KFA, all of this helps out public, that is the patients, directly. It's not for the making money or anything as such. It's to make them affordable, because we want them to be improvised. Their success leads to our success. Now that is what I'm looking into, and as a CTO, to say PRS being one of the top leaders in
Fantastic.
rehab.
Indigenous,
Yeah,
made in
indigenous,
India,
make in India, made in India, entire system from the
like
software.
like Modi ji says, make for the world.
Make for the world. Next,
Absolutely.
sell it across outside
Absolutely,
India.
absolutely.
The system has to go there. That is the level.
What a chat this was, Stafford. It's unbelievable. I think hats off to you for what you have done. I think you're really an inspiration. Even for me, I got inspired just listening to what all you have done. Incredible. So, what's the last message you want to give our global viewers? Because this is not limited to India. It can be anywhere in the world. People can follow what you're saying. So, what is that one message you want to give the guys today in the virtual reality? What message you want to give them?
I would say, have faith in your ability. That is very important, and that is what takes you big in your life. And be focused on what you want to achieve and what you want to do.
And persevere.
Persevere.
Perfect.
Yes.
That, I think that's
Always
the.
be.
And you have a lot of time.
Yes, you should have lots of time, and value your gurus. Very importantly, don't leave them. Every time they show you a path, value that path. Why and all is secondary. First, go into it, and then see and come back and give a feedback to say what I saw there. That will help you out than saying no in the first place itself. These are some of the things that
Perfect.
I want to say.
Thank you very much. See, viewers, I think we had a great chat on Rebooting the Brain podcast. This is just the beginning. You're going to have so many guests coming in like this and giving us view. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, share, and definitely press the bell icon so you got all the updates that are coming in hot into your this one. Please spread this word. Those who are interested in technology, brain-computer interface, brain-body connection, so many things you can do. Precision, quantification, normative data. There is no end to what we can do, and that's what it is. Don't forget to look at our Rebooting the Brain channel. Don't forget to look at our Rebooting the Brain book, the Rebooting the Brain documentary. There's so many things on Rebooting the Brain going on. Reboot your brain to look at all of these things, and I think the future is going to be very bright. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Stafford, thank you very much for this fantastic
Thank you, sir.
podcast participation. As a small gesture, giving you a gift, rebooting the brain. And you rebooted my brain with all that you have done, for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
So this is a small token from our side to see what is happening. Please read and do give us a feedback.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.